Hi there, my name is Sierra Burt, and I was part of Group 1 for this semester. We decided to do our analysis on the Hershey Company, so I'm really looking forward to explaining my ideas to you. So I'm not going to go over everything that I wrote about in the paper, but you can be sure to find it there. The first part of the analysis that I completed for our group was in regard to the industry. The Hershey Company competes in the confectionery industry. The term confectionery typically includes products like chocolate and non-chocolate candies. The global confectionery market size is projected to reach about 246 billion US dollars by 2026. The market size currently sits at about 191 billion US dollars. So growth is looking pretty big. Rising health concerns and transitions to a healthier lifestyle among consumers is probably the most pressing issue in this industry right now. Modern lifestyles have become more hectic, and there have been unfortunate health consequences come out of this. So there's a push for healthier options, including fat-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, and the Hershey Company is really looking at pursuing these. Another pressing issue in the confectionery market is fluctuations in the price of raw materials. Cocoa and sugar are probably the most used raw materials in this industry. The fluctuations in the prices occur due to unfavorable weather conditions, crop diseases, labor availability, stock ratios, and other economic factors that influence the supply and demand of the raw materials themselves. As a result, the average annual price of raw materials fluctuates from low to high and high to low, so it's kind of unpredictable sometimes. This puts pressure on profits for firms in this industry, and it can be quite alarming because they have to pass it on to the consumer sometimes. An important model that we have discussed throughout the course of this semester is the Pestel model. This model deals with macroeconomic influences from outside of the company. The first element in this model deals with politics. I also lumped legal issues into this as well because they kind of go hand in hand sometimes. The Hershey Company is based in more than a dozen countries, and this exposes them to several political environments. One of the company's goals is to expand further into these markets, but politicians may not agree with this and might make life difficult for the company within their country. From a law perspective, changes in laws and regulations may alter the business environment for Hershey. Typical laws that might influence Hershey include food and drug laws, laws related to advertising and marketing practices, accounting standards, taxation requirements, and employment laws. All of these types of issues could influence the cost and demand for Hershey products in the future. The second element of the Pestel model deals with the economic environment. The economy is responding to a substantial supply and demand shock due to the recent pandemic. COVID-19 is likely to introduce structural changes to the global economy over the next several years. These kinds of changes include further deglobalization, an emphasis on the digital economy, extremely low interest rates, reduced share buybacks, a surge in infrastructure investment, and a move towards substantially larger government deficits. All of these issues are something that the Hershey Company is going to have to deal with and plan for. The third element of the Pestel model deals with social factors. It has already been mentioned that there has been rising health concerns and a push for a healthier lifestyle. This type of shift in social behavior has pushed the Hershey Company to expand its brand portfolio to include healthier chocolate products and snacks. The fourth element of the Pestel model deals with technology. Technology seems to be the basis for new competitive advantages nowadays, and it's no exception with the Hershey Company. They're constantly looking for ways to use technology to add value to their customers. They have increased their online presence recently, and they've also implemented new stand-up technology for their products, and these are just two ways that they're using technology to better their company. The final element of the Pestel model is the environmental factor. In the company's 2019 sustainability report, it mentions that they are focusing on reductions in greenhouse gases, total waste, packaging waste, and water use. There has been a greater emphasis placed on corporate social responsibility recently, and it is good to see that the Hershey Company is not only looking for ways to increase the value of their company, but also to help society as a whole. So another model that was discussed was the Porter's Five Forces model. And it's a model that deals with the threat of new entrants, bargaining power of buyers, the bargaining power of suppliers, threat of substitute products, and rivalry within the industry. The global confectionery market is extremely competitive. The increased levels of store activity for snack items has pressured the growth in this industry. In order to protect the Hershey Company's market share, they may have to increase expenditures for promotions and advertising, as they mentioned in their 10K report. And they must continue to establish new products. Another important idea to discuss when talking about industry rivalry is the competition on price and high quality. Due to the fact that there are several substitutes in this market, the Hershey Company and other competitors in this industry are required to have high-quality products at low prices. The bargaining power of suppliers is also intense in this industry. I've already mentioned that cocoa and sugar are very important raw materials for the confectionery industry on a global scale. There have been recent fluctuations, and this just shows that the bargaining power of suppliers is high in this industry. The bargaining power of buyers also has a high level of threat in this industry. Consumers are always looking for the best products at the best prices. The Hershey Company adjusts their prices and product sizes to accommodate for increased costs due to raw materials fluctuating, like I already mentioned. If the price is too high, buyers may need to look to substitute products in the confectionery market. There are several competitors and several products in this market, so the switching costs are low and consumers may need to switch. So this is a concern. The threat of new entrants is relatively low. It's probably the least threat out of all of Porter's 5 forces. And this is due to the fact that high initial capital is required. There are already large corporations that own a large share of the market, like the Hershey Company. So entering and competing would be quite difficult for new entrants. Second of all, there are special requirements and regulations for the food industry. New entrants would have a difficulty time meeting all of these regulations with little capital to begin with. Next up, I'm going to talk about the product life cycle. The product life cycle is broken up into 4 stages: the introduction stage, growth, maturity, and decline stages. There are products in the Hershey Company that are in different stages of the product life cycle. I learned this semester that in order for a firm to remain competitive, they need to have key products in all stages of development. In the firm's sustainability report, it mentions that the company is taking some of their most iconic brands and creating new options that offer choice to their consumers, looking to control sugar, fat, and portion sizes. One example of this expansion is the Reese's Thins. Given the fact that Reese's Thins and Reese's sugar-free versions are relatively new in the marketplace, they are products I would consider in the growth stage of the product life cycle. Reese's is a $2 billion business, and it grew U.S. retail sales by more than 6% in the quarter following the release of Reese's Thins. This product expansion was a win for the Hershey Company, and they may want to look at doing something similar with some of their other popular products. As a product matures, it enters its most profitable stage, with the cost of producing and marketing decline. The Hershey Company is proud of all of their iconic brands, but their Reese's brand continues to stand out as their #1 brand. And it is the first confection brand to reach over $2.5 billion in retail sales in any single country, as it did in the US last year. New products need to be explained, but mature products need to be differentiated. This was proven when they expanded into the Reese's Thins. They differentiated the product, and it proved to be a win. There are some products that hit the decline stage of the product life cycle. For the Hershey Company, some of these products included Reese's Peanut Butter and Banana Cream, Hershey's Swoops, Sweet Escapes, and Hershey's Kissables. It'll be interesting to see if any products that the Hershey Company produces enter this stage following the COVID-19 pandemic. So in the paper, I talk about strategies being taken by other competitors in the confectionery industry, including Nestle, Mars, and Mondelez International. All of these companies seem to have a commitment to pursue objectives in research and development, including food safety and quality, growth through new products, superior customer satisfaction, and reduced production costs. The overall dynamic seems to involve creating the right snacks for the right moments and pushing to innovate their products to have a higher quality, safety, and growth. So this concludes my industry analysis of the paper. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will get talking to you when I talk about the financial analysis of the Hershey Company.